Welcome to the family with
Alex Brampernard Rasmussen.
And Andy Brampernard.
Catherine Brandt.
Is she coming here or no?
I just heard the door close, so I assume she's going to be here any second, but
Got it.
not a big deal. So what's the latest? What's new? Did you guys watch the Oscars? What'd you guys do?
Nope.
Didn't even know the Oscars were happening.
Didn't either.
You know, Mom and I, oh yeah, there's Mom. I can see her behind us.
Here
Now
she
you see
is.
her in the. Here she comes.
Jude, come here.
Here she is.
Dude and Mom.
She's on apparently Central Time.
She's on.
hate daylight savings time.
No, she's on Western Mountain Time.
Oh, would it be Mountain Time?
She's in Mountain Time. 'Cause
Yeah, that's true. She'd be on Mountain Time.
Yep.
She's setting up as we speak.
What a relief.
Yeah, no question about it. So, yeah, I didn't watch the Oscars. Andy didn't. Alex didn't. Catherine didn't. None of us watched the Oscars.
No, Tim sent us his Oscars picks, but I didn't even realize they were this weekend. I knew they were coming up, but
Yeah, I didn't know
So
that they happened this week.
Let's hear who he picked.
let's open up the email and find out. Melissa posted it on our social media.
And then look at who
Okay.
actually won.
I know Oppenheimer won a million awards.
7. Yep.
That's all I know.
That was a good
They, like,
movie.
Best picture and all that. Is that?
Let's
I think
see.
so.
He says best supporting actress is going to be Emily Blunt, which I'm pretty sure is. Oh wait, no. He said Devine, something. Joy Randolph from The Holdovers would win.
Yeah, the holdovers. She did win, didn't she?
Did she?
I think so.
I don't know.
For what? Best supporting
best
actress?
supporting actress.
Yeah.
Yeah, Divine Joy Randolph.
Well,
She was
he
great.
got that one. Best supporting actor. He said Robert Downey Jr.
Best supporting actor, Robert Downey Jr.
Look at that. Best actress Lily Gladstone.
Best actress, Emma Stone.
Emma
Oh, that's a
Stone.
potential upset that he wrote in.
Because I haven't heard that great things about that movie. And
No,
it
it's
didn't
sounds
win,
stupid.
and it didn't win anything
Which
else.
one? Which
Poor
one?
Poor
things.
Things.
It's like
Oh my God! We
Yeah.
tried to watch it and we
It's
had to
horrible.
stop.
Well,
It was so bad.
I watched the other one that the same people made.
There's
Oh.
another one.
Gosh, it was like a few years ago, and it was about Queen Charlotte. I
Yorgos Lanthimos.
No, it was
Interesting.
Emma Stone was
Well, no,
in
he's
it.
the guy who made.
Yeah, Emma Stone was in it. And it was
The Favorite?
Yes, The Favorite. One of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life.
Well,
it
there
was
you go.
horrific. So that's why I was like, I'm not going to see Poor Things because
Yeah.
It
Well,
was
Poor
dreadful.
Things was nothing but Emma Stone having orgasmic sex for
Yeah,
30
isn't it like-
full minutes,
Yeah.
It's like-
probably.
The porn parody of Frankenstein, isn't it?
Yes.
It
Yep.
was absolutely, in my
Mm-hmm.
opinion, unwatchable.
that's how I felt about The Favorite. It was like, I think it was about Queen Charlotte.
The Favorite. The Favorite is about some
Queen somebody.
person. Sarah Churchill, Duchess of Marlborough.
No, it was a queen.
Oh, and yes, Queen Anne.
Queen
is in
Anne.
it. Queen Anne is also in it, but she's not. It's not about Queen
yeah,
Anne. She's just,
it was like a lot about. Well, so Emma Stone wasn't Queen Anne. The other woman was Queen
Emma Stone
Queen
was
Anne.
Abigail Hill.
Yeah, but it was like so Queen Anne was a real person
Yes.
that had a real life,
Mhm.
and it was like a half biography biopic about her, and then half of it was completely made up because the half that Emma Stone was in, who was the main character, was like that they had a secret lesbian relationship,
Oh, that's right. I remember hearing about that.
and they had
Which is
all
like completely not true.
yeah, and it was just a bunch of like them being gay together and
Yeah,
like
sounds about right.
hooking
for a
up
modern
whenever
movie.
they could
Well,
and all this weirdness. And I
yeah.
was like, this isn't even true. Like, it would be something if it was a movie that was just made up and it was like, this is just a made up movie. But I'm like, this is a real person. And then they just made up stuff that's not even true
I
and
know
made
it's
a movie
so
about
gross that they can do that.
it, which bothered me. Because
Well,
I was
mean,
like,
actually, there's a great example you probably don't know about. Patch Adams. You know
Patch
his
Adams.
lover that gets killed at the end.
I don't remember that.
Oh well, Patch Adams, he has this girl that he's in love with,
Okay.
and then someone like breaks into her house and kills her at the end.
Okay.
Oh.
Oh, dear.
In real life, Patch Adams did have a friend who got killed, but it was a man, and they were not lovers.
No, it's just a friend.
So the whole lover thing completely made
yeah,
up.
it just like,
The
Yeah.
whole lover
Why,
thing.
why do they
It's
do
like-
that?
it's like, if you're gonna do a like biopic about somebody, like make
Be
it
respectful.
Yeah, it would
Yeah.
be like if I wrote a biography about somebody and then just like made up half of it.
That's
But
what they do,
isn't-
though.
Isn't the It usually is the reason why they love these movies is because it skewers some sort of societal norm or
Yeah,
some
of
sort of
course.
system. And
Yep.
and it feels like every, I don't know, 8 to 10 years, there's some actress that gets super naked and has a big sex scene over and over and over, and then they always win, because it's like, oh,
Yep.
she's so stunning and brave, and it's all about women's rights. And I'm like, okay, so Poor Things was shot, a lot of it was shot through like a peephole lens.
Yep.
What?
Yeah, it was shot like a
You're
fish-
creeping on them?
Yes.
Oh,
And I'm sitting
okay.
there going, okay, so this is supposed to be a baby's brain put in a woman's body, and she sort of reaches adolescence, so she becomes, it's like the coming of her sexuality.
Yeah,
And then that happened, and then they beat that to death. I mean, to death. And I'm like, how is this empowering women? You're creeping on somebody's life journey. I don't understand how that's empowering women.
Well, it's not.
But-
It's pornography, but it's disguised as empowering women, so you don't feel bad about watching it.
Yeah, I just don't get it. I mean, Emma Stone did a great job for what she had to do. I mean, that
I really like
had to be
Emma-
hard.
Yeah,
to
I
do.
really like Emma Stone in general, but
Yeah,
I was just
I
like,
do too. That's
when
why
I
I
watched Favorite, I was like, I don't know.
That's why I
so
was
far-
pushing to watch it. I was like, this is, she's a very good actress. I really like her, but it was just, but it made $100 million. It won a bunch of awards. Obviously, what do I know?
Of course it did. So Tim is 2.5 for 3
Okay.
because he got the upset for Best Actress.
Yeah, that's a half.
Best Actor, Cillian Murphy from Oppenheimer. I'm
Best
sure that's what won.
actor, yeah,
Cillian-
There you
Cillian
go.
Murphy.
Best
What
Director,
role was
Christopher
that?
Nolan for Oppenheimer.
Best
Yep.
director, yep.
Best
Christopher
Picture,
Nolan.
Oppenheimer.
Best picture,
Yep.
Oppenheimer.
There you go.
Yep.
So he
Well,
won.
that's
Got
good.
all of them
Like
except for Emma Stone.
Oh, I'm glad that.
But he said
Billy-
Emma Stone and Lily Gladstone were such a tight race that he just
Oh, okay.
basically flipped a coin.
I'm glad that the best original song was the Billie Eilish song from Barbie, because I feel like that if any other song would have won, it would have been dumb.
Well, there you go.
Over there.
Well, that's exactly.
Name another song from a
Exactly.
movie.
Like
and-
nobody knows any other song but
Yeah.
that one. And if it didn't win, it would have been
In fact,
really dumb.
If you told me to name a movie that came out last year other than Oppenheimer and Barbie, I would not be able to.
Wonka.
Oh, right. Well, Wonka had music, right?
Fantastic
Oh, well,
music.
there you go. I
that's
could have
true.
won.
But it wasn't like there wasn't one song
They didn't
that
have like a Let It Go.
encapsulated the
Mhm.
whole thing, and it was like a big hit, and like the What Was I Made For was a really, and it was a beautiful song, and it was popular on the radio. So yeah, but Wonka now you can watch at home on HBO.
yeah,
or
it is
Max or
available.
whatever, because
I'd
the
like to
kids have
watch
been. It's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good. You could wait and then watch it with my children because they
They'll
want to watch
again
it
and again. Oh,
all day, every day. Because they have been asking, when can we watch it at home? When can we watch it at home? Is it available to watch at home yet? When can we watch it at home? And I'm like, I don't know. And we don't have HBO Max, but we're gonna. We've
Well, I
got
know someplace you could go and watch it.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah. Well, Dan, I think, has his brother's login information too.
Ah.
So
Oh, cheating. That's really nice.
yeah, because these subscription services don't charge enough
Mhm.
to share with somebody.
Come on, 5,000 a month. It's not that bad.
Yeah, exactly.
So we watched something interesting a couple days ago.
Okay.
What was that?
A 2021 movie from, Melissa said it was Sony Pictures. Oh, it was produced by a whole bunch of different places, but Sony distributed it. Called Wish Dragon.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah. You like Wish Dragon, did you?
Is this the one that I'm thinking of?
Is it?
It's fantastic.
Is the first half hour a complete ripoff of Aladdin? Because then yes. Like, it's a good movie.
Yes,
and
I
it's-
loved this movie.
It's a good movie in its own right, but the dragon is totally the genie from
Yes.
Aladdin.
Yes.
Like, when he comes
Yes.
out of the teapot, he does the genie of the lamp thing,
Yeah.
but in the dragon version.
yes.
He even, you know, that part in Aladdin when the genie makes those like carpeted stairs and walks down them. The dragon does that.
Jeez.
Like, it's a direct. It has to be a direct allusion to
Yeah.
the genie doing that in Aladdin. He even does the itty bitty living space thing. It's so
Okay.
blatant. I wonder how they don't get sued for that.
Interesting.
It's like a wisecracking three wishes granting dragon who
Oh, well.
befriends this poor kid and
That wants to be rich.
wants to be free. And then the kid becomes a prince, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Just like in Aladdin.
Because he wants to impress a girl.
Yeah, a childhood friend.
Childhood
And, like,
friend that
so-
they like separated, and then she became super loaded.
Right.
And then
She became a model or something.
yeah, and then he's just like poor still.
Yeah, he's a street rat.
It's
But so like Disney doesn't own the rights to the story of Aladdin
Yeah.
because it's like a million years old. And I'm sure both of these movies hit on things from the original. I've never actually read the original story. It's the fact that the dragon was so similar to the genie that really, like, Melissa saw the trailer and she was like, you have to see what happens when he releases this dragon. And I'm like, okay. And it was seriously like, you know, it almost felt like an homage directly to the first scene when Aladdin first meets the genie.
and maybe it was.
And it might have been.
You know, I don't remember we watched it like when it came out.
It was 3 years ago.
Yeah, we watched it when it came out, and I don't remember being like, "This is exactly like Aladdin," but I probably had the same thoughts. if
Well,
it
Aladdin's
was,
one
like,
of those
that
movies.
obvious.
Melissa and I have both watched it 100 times.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
probably got to be up there. It's top 3 favorite Disney movies.
Yeah, we really liked Wish Dragon though. We were like, that was fun.
Yeah, no, it's not.
it was-
Once they got done, you know, doing the whole Genie of the Lamp thing, then it became its own movie.
Yeah.
And an interesting fact: the dragon in the Chinese dub of the movie is voiced by Jackie Chan.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Now he produced the movie, but he's not in the English version.
Yeah.
He's only in the Chinese version.
who does the voice in the English version?
Jimmy Yang?
Oh, somebody
Which
we don't know.
He's a stand-up.
Okay.
Jimmy Wong.
Wong. Okay. Wasn't it a Netflix?
It's on Netflix, yes.
Yeah.
See, so there you go. And by the way, I got to get this out of my head because it's stuck in my head and it's your guys' fault. You're talking about Queen Anne,
Mm-hmm.
right? Well, when I was a little boy, about 5 years old, you remember Casey Jones? The Casey Jones show? It wasn't on when you were
they
kids.
don't remember that.
But I mean, it's part of Minnesota history. The Casey Jones show is about an engineer, and they had cartoons and all the rest of it. Roger Awesome played the part, really great.
Awesome.
His name is Roger Awesome.
ASSUMB.
That's a much worse spelling than I was expecting.
I would change. I'd change it.
He's a great guy, though.
Dumb.
Awesome.
Okay, you know where the Radisson Hotel is on 100 and 494?
Yeah.
You know what was there when I was 5 years old?
You've told me. What was it?
Queen Anne Kittyland. Ah! It was a
Queen Anne.
children's park.
Kittyland.
Had a little train and the whole deal.
Oh yeah, St.
Never
Louis
heard
Park
of that.
Historical Society. It's got pictures of it.
Oh, it does? Can you put one up?
And
Let's see.
Kittyland.
There's Antlers Park,
That's cute.
Yeah,
Big Island
Queen.
Park. Where's Queen Anne? There it is. Oh, it doesn't have pictures of the. Oh wait, I think it does. Yeah, there we go. Let's save it.
Ooh.
This looks like it's from like the 1920s. This
Queen.
picture.
Where
Well,
was
I don't
it?
think I was alive in the.
Queen-
Oh, but
or-
it's in St.
Radisson.
Louis Park.
Okay.
You know where the Sofitel is now? And the Radisson?
I can
Down in
tell you, it
Bloomington?
was at
That's in Edina.
4941 West 78th Street in Bloomington.
Okay, that's
there you go.
Bloomington, I think. Yeah.
But
So
back
there you
then,
go.
I think it was St. Louis Park, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, who knows?
Yeah, who knows? Do you have a picture?
Downloads. Where did it go? It went into
I had so much fun. They had little roller coasters for like 4 and 5 year olds where there were these little humps, and it was a lot of fun.
This?
Oh, there's Roger Awesome. There's
Yep, there's Casey Jones.
Casey Jones right there.
He had a birthday train. I like the birthday
He
train.
had the birthday.
I think this is the birthday train.
I
looks
think it
like a
is.
train, like a little train.
That might be the birthday train.
See?
The birthday train.
Look at that.
I never got to go and sit in the studio audience. This one and Romper Room was
Romper
all
Room.
over,
Romper
right?
Room, yeah.
I know.
I've heard of Romper.
Ah,
I know Romper Room.
good times.
What was it again? Romper, Bomper, Stomper, Boom. Tell me who.
whom.
Yep.
Yeah,
remember.
she looked through some sort of like a mosquito swatter.
Exactly. That's exactly right.
Sure.
Well, it's true.
Makes sense.
She did. She had this little weird mosquito swatter thing.
Okay, I have to reveal this. I haven't checked it since I got up this morning, but
He's revealing something.
there's a certain being in this room right now.
Is it God?
Being.
It's God, yes, that's exactly who it is. Certain being in this room right now who has 256 followers after being on Facebook for one day.
Jude.
Judy!
Why does Jude
You made
have
Jude a Facebook?
Because everybody said,
No,
we need to
Dad
see
doesn't
Jude.
understand.
I said, what?
Oh.
I don't understand what.
I was like, you made him his own Facebook
Seems a little
account?
strange.
Why are you need a hobby?
He has 256 followers.
Okay. I'm assuming you posted a picture of him and
think
it
it's
got
comments.
256 likes.
That's what I'm guessing.
Yes.
Mom, can you clarify?
That would be correct.
Okay, great.
Yeah,
That
that's
makes
fine.
No, it's not followers.
What's likes?
People
did get
liked a
liked.
picture of him.
You got liked.
Very cute.
That's different.
Oh, the
That's all I
picture
have to
I sent you was the Rock Island Rocket, a miniature 1/6 scale replica of a real train.
Really?
So there you go.
God,
That's
that
what
place
I
was
showed
fun.
on Thingy.
That place was so much fun. Went there. I must have been 4 because we went broke when I was 5.
It
Listen.
opened in
4-year-old.
1951.
That's the
It
year I was
opened
born.
the
So
year of your birth. So there you go.
Listen,
yep.
I can't believe you ever had kid play place money because now
Oh God, yeah.
I took my kids to 2
Uh-oh.
different play places yesterday.
hmm So did we.
We went to Sky Zone and then we went to a Minnesota Play Cafe in Maple
Okay.
Grove.
Wow.
We met Andy and Melissa at the Play Cafe.
Well, that's nice to hear.
Between Sky Zone and then entry to the Play Cafe, snacks at the Play Cafe because they don't allow outside food, and then ice cream because they sell ice cream there. I probably spent $125.
Easily.
Yeah, I bet.
I was like, "Oh, okay, sure,
And how much was leaps and bounds when we were kids?
yeah, leaps and
Oh,
bounds."
everything used to be $25.
Oh, that's
Yeah, pretty
still a
much.
lot of money, especially in the 90s.
So
$15 to $25, and then now everything's like $50 to $75.
well, Sky Zone for the 2 kids, and then I had to buy Sage a pair of sticky bottom socks because he didn't own any, and you have to wear them. It was like $53 for both of them.
Sure.
$53 to do what? Ride on rides?
No, it's an indoor trampoline park.
It's basically just like a bunch of trampolines in a gigantic room where they can bounce to their
And
heart's
then
content.
there's like a Ninja Warrior obstacle course that Sage spent 90% of his time on.
Oh,
gonna
yeah, I
say-
bet.
all he
I
did.
bet.
And then there was also like a kind of bouncy floor soccer area, and he just like jumped in and was playing soccer with like 5 teenagers.
Oh,
And he like ran in and was like running around and started kicking the ball. And one of the girls goes, "That kid's on our team."
Smart.
Well, he's a hell of an athlete already, isn't he?
Dripping in sweat. He's very like
Well,
yes,
he goes all in. He's all in.
yes. He puts his heart and soul into everything he does.
Oh, he's got a hell of a golf swing already.
Yeah, and the thing is though, is he wants to do all the sports. Every
does.
one of them.
yeah.
He wants to do basketball. He wants to do soccer. He wants to do golf. He wants to do flag football. He wants to do
Isn't there a name for
Tennis.
that?
He wants
Someone who
to
plays
do-
like every sport there is.
jack of all trades,
There's
master of
a
none.
specific name. The one who plays.
I remember we were on vacation and he was playing. What's that? What those little where you spin the thing? The soccer game, but it's not called a soccer game.
Foosball.
Is it a food? Yeah, foosball table.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes,
there you go.
Oh yeah,
He
even
gets.
football he gets into.
I walked past the door and he was playing foosball. Now, at the time, he was, I think, 4 years old,
Yeah, I
maybe
think
5.
This was 2 years ago.
I think it was 4 years old. And as I walked by, your 4-year-old son yells out, "Give it your best!
Give it all you got.
Give it all you got!"
Oh
That's
my
what it was.
gosh.
Yeah, give it all you got.
Give
Gone
it all
by
you
day.
And then if you make a score, he's like, "How did you get so good at this, Nana?"
Wow.
As he's
You're really
sweating,
good at
bright
this.
red face.
I know.
Well, it helps that I'm tall enough to see the actual table.
Yeah. That
Oh,
helps.
he really gets into stuff.
I'm
It is
horrible at
true.
foosball.
Sure does.
Me
I'm,
too.
I'm absolutely horrific at
Yeah.
foosball. Like he asked me to play, and I'm like, it's just not fun because
I'm just so bad. You think I'd
I'm
be good because
horrible
it's
at it?
basically a video game.
Yeah, it's
It's
like
a-
hand-eye
but
coordination.
no.
Foosball is a skill. You have to
Yes.
play it. My brother Terry had a foosball table.
Oh.
He bought one because he was in I don't remember why he got one, but we had it in the basement. Terry and I used to play foosball all the time. If we were home at the same time, we were playing foosball.
Dan is very good at foosball, and I'm like, yeah, because you were like a teenage boy that like
Yeah.
Played
foosball.
And that,
foosball, yeah.
that was and you have to know exactly how to angle it in and where to
Yeah.
bounce it off the side. And once you get that, it's like pool or anything. It's just basically
Yeah.
Which
learning
I'm also
how to do
horrible
it.
at.
Anytime I score anything in foosball, it's just a happy mistake.
Just luck, yep.
A happy accident.
You just do
Well,
slap shots until
I'm
it goes in.
I'm
Yeah.
just
Well, there-
spinning, and then like
That's a
sometimes it
strategy.
hits it. And I'm like,
That's a
Wendy
strategy.
wants to know if Sage wants to play hockey too.
he's not allowed.
Oh, well, there you go.
I told him he's
Too
not
much
allowed to
punching?
play. I've told him he's not ever allowed to play hockey or
Football?
he can play flag football, but that's it. He can't play tackle
I
football.
wouldn't. Ethan's not going to play.
Why can't he play hockey?
It's
It's very brain damaging.
yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Not as
Very
bad as,
brain
not even
damaging.
close to as bad as football, but
I thought they
but they're
stopped
really
all
raw.
this stuff that.
No, and they're still fighting.
They're
and
still
you can fall on
checking
the
and,
ice and break your face. Yeah, no, absolutely
Like
not.
certain forms of checking are illegal, but you're still allowed to like shove each other around on the ice.
Yeah, and if you fall, it's ice. Like I just no.
I've
Absolutely
played
not.
hockey 2 or 3 times in my life. It was
You did?
what do you call the non what's the kind of hockey that isn't on ice called?
Field hockey?
Yeah, field hockey. I played field hockey 2 or 3 times. I was actually really good at it, but I just don't have the aggression in me to play a sport like that.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I don't want, because I mean, whenever Sage does pick his sport or sports or whatever, because we'll be like, you can pick a sport per season or whatever, he's going to be completely obsessed with it
Mm-hmm.
because that's just how he
Yep.
is. And I'm like, and he'll want to be really good at it, and he'll practice it all the time. It'll just like be a thing in his life. And I'm like, I can't do hockey and football.
I remember when I took him to one of his golf lessons, and he was so funny. We walk into the pro shop thing, and he's like, they had divot repair tools.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah. Yep.
And he was like, he glommed onto that because they were on sale. And he's like, I've been looking for one of these for a very
I
long
bet.
time. And it's like, you're 4. How long
There is
have
no-
you been looking for this? How many years?
2 weeks.
My whole life.
Well, I
And,
mean,
and the guy thought it was so cute that he just gave it to him.
Oh, see.
that
And then I had to tell Dan, I said, you have to hide this thing because it was a really super sharp one. It was like
Oh,
a
yeah.
little weird switchblade one.
I was
I'm
going
like,
to say it's
Oh,
the one
yeah.
that like
Dangerous.
press a button and it like whips
Yeah,
out.
and it was
yeah.
really sharp. I said, I think I'd file this down if I were you.
I mean, I'm sure you remember doing stuff as a kid, and at the time you feel like it defined 5 years of your life. But then if
Sure.
you like really think back at it, it was like a month, maybe.
Yeah.
For some reason, it just everything felt like I remember getting games and playing them through, and like as a kid, it felt like I had played this for my entire adolescence.
Yeah.
And then I go back and replay it as an adult, and I'm like, this game is 5 hours long.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Well, that
Wow.
okay. And my friend Natalie, who I met when we were 7 in dance, and
Yep.
we danced together up
Mhm.
until both of us went off to college. We were talking about dances that we did because Fawn had a dance competition this weekend, and her daughter was talking about when she danced, and then they watched one of her dance videos because she was at her parents' house. And we got together on Saturday night, and we were looking at old pictures, and we were like, what song is that? Like, what song did we even dance to? I remember the costume, and neither of us could remember multiple different, like, we remembered certain dances and songs, but others we had no recollection. We were like,
Huh.
this took up hundreds of hours of our time.
Yep.
Yep.
We listened to this song thousands of times, and
Oh,
we
yeah.
do not remember what it is. Like it
Hmm.
for a year of our lives. This is a dance that we did repeatedly over and over and over again. And we're like, I don't remember what song that was.
Wow.
It's
Think
just-
about how many years ago that was, and think about how busy your
Yeah, it
lives
was like
are
30
now.
years
Yeah.
ago.
But it's interesting that we remember certain ones, but not
Yeah.
some. Like you'd think we would remember all of them or none. I don't know. It's
No,
just
there's no way. you were sometimes in 4 to 5 dances at a time. There's no way you're going to remember them all.
I did. Yeah, my senior year, I was in like 7.
Yeah,
Because
that's
I
a
did a
lot.
solo. I did
That is
one
a lot.
solo. I did a duet with Natalie. I did a duet with Chloe. I was on elite team, and then we did tap, jazz, and lyrical. So I was
Yeah,
in
that's a
7
lot.
dances.
Yeah.
I did one dance in my life.
Yep.
I would think I was, what, 6 years old?
No, you were in
I
dance
was not
for
old.
2 years before they finally had a recital.
You
And you
didn't
were
want
like
to do
the
that?
only, yeah, well, actually, it was really good for you because you were one of those really super clumsy kids that was constantly falling. And
Yes, I was.
yeah, and dance was
What kind of,
really good for you. And it was really fun when you're little because you just basically run around and listen to music.
Yep.
And you were the only boy, so you liked that because the girls were all like, oh, Andy, Andy, Andy.
Mm.
So you thought that was fun. And then you were in a recital, and none of the girls knew what was going on. I think you were 5
Well,
or
I remember
6.
that. It was just complete.
And you kept
disaster.
trying to push them
Yeah.
into their positions.
Mhm.
So it sort of looked like you were being a little bit of a bully.
Like, you go over
You're
here.
like,
Get on your mark.
why don't you people know where you're supposed to stand?
Well, that's
And
like
then the girls said, oh, boys don't dance, so you stopped.
So there you go.
Boys don't dance.
Yeah.
Could make a Hollywood movie about this. Boys
Untrue.
don't dance.
That's what the girls
I
said.
was
The girls
disturbed.
said, boys don't go into dance. So you just stopped. I'm like, you're 6. You can do whatever you want at 6.
The difference between a girl and a boy is very minute at 6 years old.
Yes,
Yes.
it sure is. Sage
Pretty
just
much.
yesterday at Gap Kids bought a headband that is like mermaid colored, and it has a long braid attached to the side and a crown, a
Mhm.
silver sparkly crown with like a
What?
tutu around the crown. He saw it and he was like, "Can I please get this?" And I was like, "Why do you want this? This is ridiculous." He's like, I really want it." And he was like, I had like the prayer hands and was like, "Please,
Oh my
please,
God.
can I get it?" And then Fawn was like, "We can get matching ones." And I was like, "These are both so dumb."
They're a little over the
then-
top.
But then I was like, you know what? Fawn really isn't into princess stuff anymore.
No, she is not.
And like, neither of them does dress up. And I was like, you know what? Since you both, for whatever reason, want these hideous hair things, sure.
Hideous.
I will pay the $30
I
for
know.
2 of these stupid hair things.
And then they'll break them in 2 days and you'll throw them away.
Yep. I was like, sure.
Yep.
But I don't buy my kids lots of like stuff. So I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And you see, for some reason, Sage was just, and he's like, why can't I wear it at school? And I was like,
You
because
know-
it'll be distracting to you, this giant long thing of hair
Mhm.
dangling. No.
I think he's got, I get that too. I'll go into a store and I'm like, oh my God, that's so cute. But then I carry things around for a while.
Oh, yeah.
And then I look at it again. I'm like, maybe I'll get over it by the time I
Mm-hmm.
want to check out. And I'll be like, what?
Oh, no. We bought this. We walked out of the store and he's like, don't I look cute? then
There's
he
a
looked-
shock.
And then he was walking around and he was like, I'm so festive.
Oh, gee.
And then he looked down because the sun was behind him and he went, even my shadow looks good.
Oh, God.
Wow.
Well.
Yeah, I was like, I text
Jesus.
messaged Dan. I was like, heads up. They got these ridiculous hair things, but Sage feels like he's the coolest child on planet Earth right now. So just like tell him how great he looks.
Wow.
He was like,
Well, yeah. In another couple of years, you'll show him a photo of that.
Yeah.
And he'll be like, don't. He'll be like, delete.
Yep.
Yeah.
Break it out when he has friends over. First birthday.
Yep.
It was like 8th birthday party.
Yeah.
oh, and he got really upset last night. Fawn asked me if we could do skincare together. And I was like, sure, we can like put some witch hazel and lotion on our faces. Great. And then
Skincare.
Sage wanted to do it with us. And Fawn was like, no, Mom and I planned this. And this is our thing. And like, he was very upset that he was not involved in the skincare. And then he and Dan did their own skincare
Oh,
routine.
there you go.
Oh.
Where it was dunking their faces in a sink full of water.
Okay.
Oh, got it. Yeah, there you go. Look care for your
And they
skin.
thought it
all
was great. I was like, whatever.
It all worked. I got to show you this picture. Who is this? Do you guys know who this is?
There's no way I'm going to be able to tell.
It's
Oh,
very.
because it's too.
Oh, it's Mom and
that's-
Fawn on the boat.
that's when
Yep, but
Fawn
you'd
was-
never tell it's Fawny because she's 2 years old in that
Oh, that's
picture.
your screensaver
Yeah,
or
that's
whatever,
yours.
right?
It
Your
is my
background.
screensaver,
Yeah,
yeah.
we've had that background for ages, sir.
Fawn is now entering the I'm too cool for school
Yep.
years.
She sure
All
is.
those around that age, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
not in
ever
like
since
the-
ever since she got into dance with the older girls,
Mm-hmm.
she's now like Nana,
Yeah.
doing that stuff.
She's not like.
It's not like in a shitty way, like a
Yeah,
teenager.
yeah.
No, but it's just you can tell that very soon she's going to be embarrassed by every adult's
Yeah.
presence.
You know what I love about your kids, actually, Alex, is the fact that Fawny now is too cool to talk to me, but when she goes by, she waves, hi, Bop Bop, and then just keeps moving. And then Sage, the only reason he ever calls me is so he can turn me into cartoon characters.
Yes.
Yes.
That's why he
the
calls
Filters.
Yeah.
the filters.
He loves
Oh,
the
yeah.
filters.
He
Yep.
really does. He's like,
He
can I
turned
call
me-
somebody? It has to be on Google Meet so we can filters.
Yep.
Well, the pirate is amazing, and so is the
It is.
cowboy.
It's really.
I
know,
mean,
they
it's
really are.
amazing.
I know the facial hair. It's
Yeah.
impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he always turns me into like a strawberry.
Yeah,
Yep,
the strawberry is
the
pretty
strawberry.
cool too.
Yeah.
The strawberry is really cool.
What are you going to do? Such
And then
is
he likes a
life.
little drawing thing. I'll draw
Yep.
something, and then he tries to copy it.
Yep.
So that's It is it is fun.
I know. It's a fun little.
Well,
app.
it's I mean, what are you going to say to a 5-year-old? 6-year-old?
Yeah, like, what are you up to?
Yeah.
I don't
How was your
remember.
day? What'd you do at school? I don't know.
I don't
Yeah.
remember anything.
We're just hanging out at home. Okay. Thoughts about world peace? I don't know. They just-
What movies have you watched recently? Is about
Yeah.
as
Sage
complex
does
as it gets.
have. Sage remembers stuff. Like if I ask him how
Yeah,
was
he's got a good
school,
memory.
what happened, like he'll tell me.
No, he
things.
doesn't do it with us. And then Fawn likes to just show us her latest acrobatic tricks,
Yes.
which are pretty amazing.
I know. There's a Cirque du Soleil training place in St. Paul.
Oh, that
Circus
juvenile.
Juventus.
Yeah.
Juvenile.
Well,
Juvenile
it
circus.
means juvenile, I believe.
Okay, I gotta run something by you guys.
Yes.
Daylight savings reminder.
I know. I
What?
forgot about it.
What is more likely to happen today than any other day of the year?
People
will
oversleep.
Yeah.
Miss appointments.
Oversleep, misappointment? Nope.
Late
It's
for
much
work.
worse than that.
People are more likely to die.
You got it.
Why?
Today is the day that people are more likely to die.
I think
Why
I've
would
heard that
be?
before.
Why?
Oh, do you know why, Andy? Because I suppose I could go to the story and find
100%.
out.
So there's another. Because there's another hour to die. Maybe.
Today's
Oh,
just,
there's one less hour to die.
One
It's
less.
spring.
Oh wait, that's
I wonder
right.
if it's like a Y2K thing where it's like people's dialysis machines are shutting down.
I bet that might have something to do with it because that used to
I would hope
affect.
not.
It did used to affect hospitals back in the day. I remember that. If
Well,
you
yeah,
didn't
back
pay-
when computers were like 8-bit, this kind of thing really messed with them. That's
It
why.
did, yeah.
That's why people were like, planes are going to be falling out of the sky on January 1st, 2000, and satellites are going to.
God.
Oh yeah, yep.
I remember my brother was working for some company that spent I don't know how many
Millions.
of dollars preparing for Y2K.
Yep.
They made it into the biggest deal. And does anybody remember what happened?
Nothing.
What turned into 2000?
I think there were like a couple minor issues that got resolved almost immediately. Yeah. But people will say that that's because we spent all this time and money
Yeah,
preparing
preparing.
for it. It would have been a catastrophe had we not all freaked out
I
about
think
it.
it was one of those made up
Let's make money
industries.
off this deal.
Yep. Fear. Create a problem where there is none and already have the solution.
To a degree, it absolutely was. Yeah. There's a lot of things like, a plane's not just going to shut down in midair because the date is wrong.
Because the time.
If
is great.
they design a plane to have a shut the engines off if the time doesn't make sense feature, then that's kind of on them.
It's
Yeah,
bad.
exactly.
Poorly
Pretty
designed.
much true. All right, who were we with on Y2K?
The
We were in Florida, I remember.
Yep,
You had those cigars in those glass tubes that had the 2000 on them.
yep.
Oh God.
Yep.
Who
I
were
very-
we with?
I
The
very distinctly-
Lettieri's and the nannies.
Yep.
The nannies and the Lettieri's.
Yeah,
Matter of
and
fact,
you guys know that Louis just wrapped up 60 years,
60 years,
of his high school hockey broadcasting
yep.
Oh, wow.
career. He
Oh.
did it for 60 years. He
How
just
old is he?
retired.
82.
82.
Yeah,
Pretty good.
we just saw him a couple of weeks ago. We went out with Francine and Louis and Michelle, his daughter, and
Tino.
her
Was
husband,
wonderful.
Letieri. We had a really lovely dinner, and
Yep.
he never mentioned anything.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on in Louis' life always.
Yeah, he's always juggling a lot of balls.
800 grandchildren.
Yeah.
And
He's on the move, no question about it. But yeah, that family and our family are really good friends. And we were together at Y2K. And did anybody make it to midnight?
Oh yeah,
Oh, absolutely.
that was
Yeah.
a wild party.
Yeah, it was a wild party at our house.
That was a wild
Yep.
party.
But we were all waiting for some disaster to happen when Y2K
Yeah.
came along.
Well, that's like none of us had cell phones at the time, I don't think. I think you had a pager. So it's like what was going to go wrong in our house? The most complex electronic we had was probably like a CD player.
Yeah.
Probably my Sony Walkman.
That's probably it.
No, no, it's a Discman when it's got a disc.
disc.
Oh, that's
and-
right.
Oh, it's a Discman. Yeah,
And
that's
it's got
very, very
anti-skip
true.
technology. So
Oh yeah, remember when you'd like walk too fast and all of a
Yep.
sudden it would go like
Sure do.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
If you walk too fast, it would do what?
well, the disc would like
Yeah.
vibrate slightly when you walked.
Oh, I
And
see.
those
sure.
lasers were so sensitive that when that happened, it would skip.
Yeah.
So they had anti-skip technology
Yep.
in their
When the
Discmans.
MP3 player came out, that was a definite improvement.
Yeah, it sure was. Mike from Blaine was at Camp Snoopy at midnight on Y2K.
Oh wow.
Camp Snoopy.
Says
Just
there
waiting
were,
for the rides might have shut down.
That's true.
We were
Snoopy
stuck on
breaks
the.
out of his chains and starts punching people. He says
I
there
like
was
it.
a billion people there, which I mean makes sense. Y2K was a big deal.
It
was,
was.
One
yeah.
thing that I am very, even though I really don't remember it that well, I'm glad I was of age to be around during the whole 2000 thing, because 2000 was like a huge deal for a
It
long time.
was, yeah.
Party like
It
it's
was.
1999.
People were naming
2000,
movies and
0,
video
0.
games and stuff after the year 2000 for ages before and after. Everything had 2000 after it because it sounded so futuristic.
It did.
And now it sounds like
Futuristic.
100,000 years ago.
Well, it was 24 years ago. That's the sad
Yep.
news.
I
know.
Good
I was
God.
at Y2K. I had just turned 13. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, I will tell you, the next
Long time.
day, after that New Year's Eve party, the next day, we went to clean up the house. I found 11 bottles of champagne that still had at least some champagne in them.
Yep.
Oh boy.
There were bottles of champagne everywhere. It's like, God.
Wasn't me. I was how old was I?
11.
11.
10 or
So,
11.
yeah.
so Vinny was there, but I don't remember Bianca being there. Was Bianca
Mhm.
there? Bianca was there.
was there.
Who's there?
And
And Megan, her cousin
Megan.
was there.
Yeah, Megan was there, yep. Yeah, that was an interesting night. There's no question about that. And Y2K came along. But yeah, I mean, I cannot believe that was, it seems like it was about 5 years ago.
To me,
24
it
years
feels like
ago.
100
Feels like a
years.
It feels like
Oh,
a
does it?
long
I mean,
time
Saturday
ago.
morning feels like a lifetime ago.
That
to
is
me.
true. Yeah.
Well, I suppose.
Some things feel like they were 10 minutes ago, even though they were 10 years.
Yep.
And some things are the exact opposite.
Mm-hmm.
Time is meaningless.
It is. I got to read this story. Feeling groggy from changing the clocks? Here's a
Yes.
fun reminder. You're also more likely to die today.
All right.
According to the American... Oh, that's nice. Can't wait to get away from Bop Bop. Is that the
Finally,
plan?
sweet release.
Sweet release. According to the American Heart Association, there's always an increase in the number of heart attacks in the first week after spring forward each year. Why would that be?
Because it just,
Stress?
I was going to say, like, it just, losing an hour of time throws your body off.
Yeah.
I mean,
It does.
But enough
weird-
to
it's
die?
weird. Yeah. If you have health problems, well,
Yeah,
there's,
I
there's
suppose.
a lot of people out there who are like, 1 mile
on by a
shock away
thread.
from
Very
death.
poor health, yeah.
Hanging on by a
poor
thread.
health.
I suppose. Yeah, a study in Michigan found a 24% increase on the first Monday after clocks shift, and a separate study in Finland found around 8% bump in the number of strokes in the first 2 days.
I wonder why it would cause a stroke.
They're still not sure why it happens, but they think it has to do with disrupting our body's internal clock.
I
Just
think it's
what
because
you
they
guys
wake
said.
up, realize that they missed something, and just that's it. They have a stroke.
They have a stroke and die.
I'm late for work.
Is it
Stroke.
9 o'clock already? And then you So
you know,
wait,
when-
a study in Finland. Does Finland do daylight saving?
Oh, that's a good
I
question.
They must.
Let's see. Which countries do daylight saving?
I thought we were
Yes.
going to be done with this. We had this conversation last time. We had
I think we're voting on it in November.
Actually,
I thought it was already done.
pretty much every
It-
Western country does daylight saving.
They do. Oh.
All of Europe, pretty much all of North America, except for Arizona and whatever 2 provinces. I think that might be Yukon up in
Oh yeah.
up in Canada.
Well, hopefully we'll be done with it soon.
New Zealand does it. The
I
bottom
hate it.
right fourth of Australia does it.
Sure.
That's interesting.
I have
New
a
South
question.
Wales, that area, but nowhere else does.
I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
So if we stop doing it, will it be our current time or would it be the time it was last week?
I
Well, the
hope
current-
It's time now
Yeah,
because you're in daylight saving. So daylight saving just ended.
No, actually, it just started.
It just started.
I thought
started.
it did because it makes sense to save daylight during winter when there's less of it. But yeah, apparently
Very
daylight
diplomatic.
saving started now, which
okay,
is
so
weird.
now we're in daylight saving.
Now we're in daylight, and the bill is to make it permanently daylight saving.
That's
Oh, it
where-
is,
I was
okay.
like, because I was like, I know it is what it is now. Like
Yes.
this would be the time
Yep.
that we would keep. Okay,
Works
we
for
would-
me.
so I was half right.
So in fall, we wouldn't turn the clocks back. We
Yeah, there would be
just-
no.
you had a 50% chance
Yeah,
of being
50-50.
right.
Well, I was like, I knew that it was we wouldn't change the clocks in fall.
Right.
So I was like,
Well, yeah, I would rather have it later in the day.
Yeah, I think most people would.
yes.
Because,
I'd
I
rather
mean-
have a dark morning because then my kids sleep later.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
my
There you
kids
go.
slept later
Yep.
today than they have in 2 weeks because they
Yep.
are like, it's light out. We wake up when it's light out, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
not anymore. Like you.
Well,
Well, the thing is it is more depressing when you're up at the school bus stop, and
Yeah,
it's
and
dark out. I remember that all winter long, feeling like,
Yep.
But it's also depressing when you leave a building at 4:45 p.m. and
Well,
the sun's
yeah,
almost
already
all gone.
dark.
Yeah, and I mean, kids coming home from school, after school activities. I mean, nobody gets that much done in the morning. Maybe you get a workout in or something, but in the evening
Right.
when you've got kids is when you're, running around a lot more.
Yes.
no, I could see that absolutely. But I'd rather have it be dark in the morning than at night. I agree with that 100%. I've been waking up because I wake up around 6 to 6:30 in the morning usually.
Gross.
And before daylight savings time, by 6:30, it'd be starting to. It wouldn't be light out yet, but it'd be starting to get light out.
Yeah.
And now, of course, it's starting to get light out at 7:30 in the morning. But I'd rather lose the light in the morning than I would in the afternoon. I'd much rather it be light later.
The other Andy says the worst is when you leave your house when it's dark and you get back to your house when it's dark.
Oh,
Andy's got a couple of jobs, does he?
Well, I think
yeah.
no. I
Well,
mean,
but, like,
in
not
Minnesota, if you
yeah,
work from 9 to 5,
No, you had
gonna
an
work.
8 to 5.
Yeah.
It was always an 8 to 5 job so that you would have 1 hour off for lunch, 8
Yep,
to 5.
that's
So
right.
you're leaving by 7:30 to get to
Yep.
work. It was
dark. Yeah,
horrible.
yeah,
It was just like all you did was work and feel like you needed to go to sleep.
yeah. You never saw
Yeah.
the sun unless
never
you
yeah.
were like out taking a smoke
Yeah,
break.
go out to lunch. That was the only way you ever got to see any light.
Yep.
Well, you and I are watching a series right now where it literally stays dark for like 10 days in a row.
Oh, the Jodie Foster.
Jodie Foster
True Detective.
Yeah, True Detective,
Oh,
exactly.
the new one.
Yeah, they're like sixth day of night.
Sixth day of night. I'm like, God.
I'm like, oh, and how many days do they have to look forward to
So
that?
they're in Alaska. Okay.
They're in
then they
Alaska
have
and
to- Yeah.
they're driving in the dark and you see that snow going over the road and you're just thinking, oh my God, why do people
Then they
live
have days of all light.
Yeah, they sure do. So
Yeah,
there
they
you
do.
go.
Like
Yep.
Iceland, which
Honestly,
we were.
would
Dan
be
and I went
worse.
to Iceland in May, when we first got married, and it was the sun set for I think 2 hours
Yeah.
and then came back up.
So
Yeah.
it was in
Bounced off the
Scotland, too.
horizon
But-
like a basketball.
But I guess, what was that show? There was that show in Alaska, Northern Exposure,
Yes.
many, many years ago. And the guy was he was
Strip club.
a doctor and he was going insane because the light kept him up all the time. He hadn't slept in days because he's like, this is fantastic. I don't have to sleep anymore. And he got super manic.
Well,
because
yeah,
of all the
you need
light.
sleep.
And then in the wintertime, there's so much depression.
Yep.
Yeah.
I just, your body's supposed to have a balance, I think.
The
Would be
most
nice. Yeah.
days straight of sunlight in a inhabited area of Earth is Utqagvik
Yep.
in the northernmost city in Alaska.
Mhm.
85 straight days of sunlight.
How many days of darkness?
Probably.
I wonder, actually.
Probably 85
Probably.
straight.
Similar. Yeah, I would say it's probably
Yeah, I
similar.
wonder how that works. Does it have
Oh
to
my
balance itself out?
Yeah, does it?
Well,
That's a
here's the
good
thing about
question.
light. You can get blackout curtains.
Yeah, you can get over it.
You can like make it dark in your house
You
and
can.
trick your brain into it's
Mhm.
Right.
nighttime now. Light, you can't like other than getting a sad lamp,
Yeah.
can't really do, and that doesn't really do much.
No.
Utko or whatever has 65 days of night.
Oh,
Oh,
what a blessing, an extra
65
20
days
days.
of night and 85 days of day.
oh,
Wow.
You must have no internal
And that's
clock.
total light and total dark.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah,
Not
they do not see the sun
and
for
then-
65 days.
And then between that, it's the sun was up for 15 minutes
Yep,
and then it set.
Well, yeah, you basically see
Yeah.
the sun on the
Yeah,
horizon
like
and then it
peek
just
up and
dips
then-
down.
yeah.
That's all
Yep.
it does.
Well, like I remember when I'm trying to remember. I think maybe it was when we were in Iceland. Yeah. And we were just like walking along the water for maybe 15 minutes and sun was up and then it was just like gone. It just set so quickly. And we were both just like, what? It was light out and now it's dark. What's going on? It was very strange.
It is interesting because, like, in Key West, when you go to that Sunset Point or whatever it's called, and the sun sets so fast down there too. I wonder that has to have something to do with longitude or
Yeah.
something, right?
God, that'd be so weird though to have 85 straight days when it never gets light out.
Ugh, I would hate it.
65. 85 of light,
Oh, 85 of light. That's right.
Hate it.
Sorry.
which is worse. I don't know.
We can block it out though. Thank God.
Dark is worse.
You got light bulbs.
But it's just not the
It's
same
not the same.
as like feeling the sun on your skin and like stepping outside into like
Yeah.
daylight. It would just,
Yeah.
that would just
I
be-
suppose, yeah.
I would spend a lot of time sleeping. I know I would
Yeah.
have to be on antidepressants. I can't stand more than a few days of like gray, cloudy weather. I hate
Yeah,
it.
most people, Fawn can't handle like if it's cloudy for 2 days, she just like turns into a house cat.
Yeah, me too.
Just like wants to curl up and sleep.
I need the sunshine.
Yeah.
There was a guy I worked with at Capitol Records. He was born and raised in Beverly Hills, California. And he had to, for some reason, I can't remember who it was. It wasn't the Beatles. Or I think it might have been Duran Duran. Was coming to Minneapolis at their first place in the United States. Duran Duran was on Capitol Records. And he flew up for 2 days so he'd be there. Their first appearance in the United States was in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And I will never forget when I was taking him back to the airport. He goes, "Hey, Tommy, let me ask you a question."
So he's from Jersey?
I was going to say, that doesn't
Philadelphia.
seem like a British accent.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was Duran Duran was British.
No. The guy, the vice president of Capitol
Oh,
Records,
okay.
Ah.
Okay.
he flew up to see Duran Duran.
Oh, yeah. I was like, hey, it's
Maybe.
me, a British band guy.
Hey, how you doing? I'm from Britain, It's unbelievable. No, actually, he was from Philadelphia.
Okay.
And I'm taking him back to the airport, and as I'm dropping him off, he goes, "Hey, Tommy, let me ask you a question. How the F do you live here?" He hated the weather so much. He just hated it. But, I suppose. But, Philadelphia's not exactly toasty in the winter either.
Well,
No, but it's not nearly as bad.
No, it's
I
not.
mean,
That's true.
we run into people in Florida all the time that, oh, yeah, I used to work in Minneapolis. Oh, really? For who? And it's usually somebody like,
Honeywell,
Honeywell,
back in the day.
Cargill, something like that. They're like, I said, oh, so how long did you live there? 2 years, and I couldn't wait to get out because of the weather. Beautiful
weather.
city, loved it, loved the
Yep.
state, but I could not take those winters. Or, yeah, my son went to college there for one semester
The weather just nails him. It gets to
and
him.
left.
Officer Dave says when he was full time, he would leave the house at 5:15 a.m. and get home at 6:45 p.m.
Okay.
Never, ever saw the
Not
light.
full time.
That is like extra.
Did he
time.
have an hour and a half commute? What?
Yeah, for real. I wonder. Because
Maybe you went to work out.
But if you were like on patrol, you'd see the sun in your car and stuff. So I
Yeah.
guess there's that.
Yeah, I guess.
No. People that have super long commutes, I'm like, how do you do what is
I got a half-hour commute, which is long, but it's not like hideous.
no, but
That's
like
pretty
there are people-
standard.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say
Because
around half an hour.
You can live in the city and have a half an hour
That's
commute
true.
just because of traffic.
Yeah.
So.
God, there's people in New York who live like 3 blocks from their job, and it takes an hour to get there.
When I lived in New
Yeah.
York and I lived like I don't even 50 blocks away from where I worked, I just walked every day.
Yeah,
I didn't ever. I like.
There's no point in trying to drive.
hardly ever took the subway or a cab. I
Yeah.
just walked.
It's just
I
so
was like,
slow.
and I didn't have to be at work until 10.
yeah,
Yeah.
The hours were 10 to 6, and I was like, I have half my day
hmm
to like get there in the morning.
Get a lot of
so
exercise. Why
and
not?
I just walked.
Did you hear that they sent in the National Guard into the subways?
Yep.
Why?
Armed
Armed
National
guards.
Guard.
Why? What was?
Well, they can't have rifles. They can
No.
only have pistols.
Pistols, yeah.
Because of the rampant crime and drug
Mm.
use and all the crap going on in the subways and
Subways are-
people getting beat up constantly at the platforms and robbed. I mean,
I
they're
hated
just.
the subway. Smells like
I used to
Yeah, I
like the
didn't
subway when it was, I mean, the New York subway was never clean. It was never nice.
Never.
No, it was never very nice, but it was the easiest way of getting around the city, that's for sure.
yeah, and cheapest.
I still remember I did not hear the gunshots, but I was about 3 blocks away and I started hearing all of these sirens going on and on and on and on. It's when Spark Steakhouse, the head of the mafia, was going to eat at Spark Steakhouse, and they massacred him in his vehicle, he and his driver both.
Don't murder people,
I will never forget.
and people won't murder you usually.
There were about 1,000 cop cars surrounding that block because they tried to figure out who did it and all the rest of it. One of the 5, it was Paul, what was his name? Paul Castellano.
Ah,
Paulie Castellano was the head of that branch of the mafia, and they just massacred that guy.
It's crazy
He-
that they just would kill each other on the street. It's like, well, this is the easiest way to go about
they
it.
got to send a message.
That's true. It's sending a message.
I don't know. You'd think they'd do it more covert or something under the cover of night.
No, they want people to know.
I don't think they could get at those guys unless they were.
Well,
you know,
yeah, that's the
vulnerable.
thing. It's
out.
like
Yeah.
if you wore a mask and got out of there quick enough, they didn't have DNA, they didn't have fingerprinting. Probably, it's like, yeah, they probably didn't catch
Well,
80%
and also they
of them.
controlled the police. So
That too.
In some areas.
These days, if you
What do you
did that, you'd have
There.
90 cell phone videos of you doing
Yes.
it on the internet.
Yes,
in
exactly.
10 minutes.
Yeah.
You can't do that anymore.
no,
I remember that so many people hated that Paul Castellano because he built a house out in, where was it, wasn't in Queens. Where the hell was it? I don't
Long
remember.
Island.
Doesn't probably somewhere on Long Island. But he built a house that looked exactly like the White House in Washington, D.C.
odd.
So apparently he was the president of the earth or something. I
Little
don't know.
ego-driven.
Just a little ego-driven, no question. And he actually called it, I got to go to the White House. It's not, I got to go to my house. I got to go to the White House, so I'll see you guys tomorrow.
It's like when people call their SUV a truck, like, we should take the truck. Let's drive the truck. I'm
The
like,
truck.
what are you doing? That's not a truck. I don't know.
All right,
Something
so
like that.
Random thought.
Dave clarified he had a
Okay.
25-minute commute and a 12-hour workday.
Jesus.
I said 12
Oh.
hours is 1.5 full time.
Yeah.
And I said, I hope you got overtime. And he said, yeah, we got overtime. Anything over 12 hours was overtime.
Oh my God.
12 hours.
But did he work, was that 5 days a week, or did he do like 3
Nah,
12-hour
that's
days?
a good question.
And then,
Yeah.
Because
You
if
know.
it was 5 days a week, then that's ridiculous.
yeah.
Oh,
Is
but
he-
if you work a holiday, you get double time and a half for 8 hours of that day. So if you
I
work
got to
12
point something
hours,
out.
Oh, okay.
you know,
I got to point something out. Look at Jude right now.
Jude wants to leave.
The show is over right now,
Oh,
and
yeah.
he walked to the door and looked. How does he know what time it is?
Walked to the
Internal
door to get his
clock.
chicken.
It's chicken
I know,
time?
but
He could see his chicken squeaky toy.
it's
No, I just heard this week.
Squeak.
it's been an hour on the nose.
Yeah,
it
he's
actually
like-
hasn't. You started late,
Oh, well, that's true. But it
Well,
is
I mean, what time-
10:45 on
but it
the
is
nose.
10:45.
It
So
is 10:45.
I don't know.
or
Daylight
11:45.
saving didn't mess up his
He
internal
knows.
clock. He's not going to
Oh,
have
that
a
dog definitely has a good clock.
Oh, he's unbelievable. He knows exactly when it's 4:30 to eat dinner. every day.
I've
Oh,
actually
no,
pushed that up. I've
was
pushed
gonna
that up
say-
because he was starting to lay by his dish at
Yes.
3:30, and I'm like, this is too early for dinner.
That's early.
Yeah.
So now I pushed it. I sometimes feed him at 5. So now he's a little bit confused about it.
Yeah, because he'll try to push it as early as humanly possible.
And
He's
then
like, it's
one-
nearing 4:30.
Yeah, and then one time I think I fed him twice because I was like cooking and I couldn't remember if I fed the dogs, and he was looking like he was starving to death. So I fed him, and I was like, I think I fed him twice. So now he like tries to run scams.
Scams.
Like an hour
Not
later,
good.
after I've already fed him, he goes over to his dish and looks at me. I'm like, and that was like 5 years ago. So he still tries to run a scam.
So Dave was
Amazing.
3 on, 4 off, then 4 on, 3 off. So
Okay.
that makes
Yeah,
sense.
that makes
That
sense.
averages out to, I think, 42 hours a week at 12-hour days. So
Oh, good.
there you go. At least he wasn't doing 12 hours, 5. Well, I
Yeah.
mean, it is a long time, but it averages out to a normal schedule. And then you get 4 days off a week or every other week.
Like a lot of factory workers work really long shifts so that they can have 4-day weekends.
I'd rather do that, absolutely.
Nurses do that a lot too.
And firefighters, they usually work like 3 days in a like straight,
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
and then are off for 5 days or whatever.
Yep.
All right, that's going to do it for another day. Any closing words?
To quote Sage, while he was picking up poop yesterday, this is quite fun, actually.
Fun picking up dog poop.
He had a latex glove on.
You didn't give him like a grabber?
Oh, we pick it up with our hands with a
Huh.
latex glove on. Because it's like if you use the grabby thing, it just gets all smeared
That's
with
true.
poop.
It does
It's
get all
disgusting.
over the.
So we
yeah.
just use a glove and we pick it up with our hands and then we just throw the glove in with the poop and throw it all away.
That is one nice thing about having it freeze overnight.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Everything was all
It's
hard.
not stinky.
Like, the
Yeah.
poop was all hard. Nothing smelled because it was like the spring poop cleanup because it was like mushy and because of the
yeah.
snow. And we were like, it's been dry enough for long enough. We are picking this up.
Yep.
Yeah, Fawn helped for a while, and Sage.
For a while.
Yeah, she helped for a while, and then Sage didn't want to do it, and then all of a sudden he was like, "I want to do it," and then he helped for probably 15 minutes, and yeah, he went, "This is quite fun, actually." Well, kind of.
Kind of fun.
I remember having a
was like-
lot of arguments with Sage about cleaning up. He'd be behind the couch. He'd help him with his own mess.
Yes.
Clean up for 1 minute. I'm setting the timer for 1 minute, about 30 seconds. I'm so tired.
After 30
Somebody
seconds.
has to help me with this. Crying, carrying on. It was
Brenna,
just
you
so-
have to do the what's her face thing.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah,
song?
drops a game.
Oh, Mary
Watch-
Poppins.
Mary Poppins.
There you
If
go.
you do Mary Poppins thing, if you turn it into like some sort of game, he'll clean up in 30 seconds. It's like
Oh,
he
okay.
with him, everything needs to be some sort of game, and then he's
Yeah.
all of a sudden like super into it. That's what I mean. Whenever he finds a sport, it's going to be his whole life because he's just driven by
For
things
3
being
months.
games.
All right, we will talk to you guys tomorrow.
Toodaloo.
Bye.
Bye.
Got a picture in my noggin reminds me of this one was before. Every time I hear the singing reminds me how you talking